I guess the ultimate first question is like, where the hell did this idea come from?
Always the question, and I never have a great answer. I don't know where the hell these ideas come from. Any of them. You just sort of like the way the folks on Pluribus, they receive, signals from each other, telepathically. You got to be kind of a radio head yourself as a writer. You got to be receptive to ideas, I guess. And then sometimes I think it's kind of like working a jigsaw puzzle in your mind, and you're kind of, putting this piece together, that piece together. Well, this doesn't fit. Well, that doesn't fit together. And then, but if you do it long enough, eventually the image starts to form, and I don't know where the heck it came from. But
again, the idea for our radio audience that just returned as well is that there is essentially a code for an RNA virus. Would you say, or
yeah, it's a message from space,
yes,
from 600 light years away, from aliens that we know nothing about. We may well never meet, but it is a message in a bottle sent out into the universe to spread this happiness, this form of happiness and contentment and satisfaction, and it takes hold in the world, and suddenly everybody is very chill.
Except for 11 people, including the protagonist, who is a miserable person, right? Or at least miserable in terms of disposition, would you say?
She's unhappy. Yeah, she is.
Played by Rhea Seehorn.
The wonderful Rhea Seehorn. She plays a character named Carol Sturka. And Carol is a romantasy author. She is pretty successful.
Yes.
But she's like a glass half empty type person. She's always looking for reasons to explain her misery or her just general unhappiness. And she's very sarcastic. I kind of root for her. I have heard a lot in doing interviews and whatnot. Why is she so unhappy? And like, well, why is anybody unhappy? Versus why is anybody happy? Sometimes I just think maybe it's just chemicals in our brains, and then we look for reasons to explain it.
Well, again, just to continue this conversation about characters and character development and just the general gist of a lot of the shows that you've put together, Vince, it is about how do people react to life-altering events, whether it's cancer for Walter White, or obviously Saul Goodman and what happened in the backstory that you tell about Better Call Saul, about his childhood, about his relationship with his brother, about what happens if you are somebody on the planet who is a glass half empty person, and then an event occurs where your wife is dead because she's one of the humans that cannot receive biologically this new way of living as a hive, and then the idea that yes, the people who are, would you say, afflicted by what comes in, or affected?
Afflicted. I think they both work. You know what I really kind of hope for with this show is that people tell me whether this is a good thing or not. I always say when you watch The Walking Dead or The Last of Us, two really good shows, but you watch those shows and you know you don't want to be a zombie. You know you don't want to be affected with this mushroom infection on The Last of Us. But on this show, I'd love for people to argue, the fans to argue, she's fighting something she shouldn't fight on one side, or other people saying, no, are you crazy? She's 100% right. The human individuality is at stake. So.
I'm on that side through the first 3 episodes, sure. Where she is fighting for free will. Yeah. Vince.
Yes, absolutely.
She's fighting for would we like to have a planet where there's no crime? Yeah. Where they're in episode 3 turning off lights because they don't have to worry about crime after dark, or people aren't living where they were living because they're now, I guess we're going to see over the next few weeks, how do people live collectively in this hive? How do they come out of nowhere to reconstitute an entire supermarket that's been stripped bare of all items, but they put it back in because Ray's character asks for it. And then she begins to realize the power that she does as an individual have against the collective, because she can now ask of them what she wants, even if it is dangerous. Like, that's where we're at right now. I am curious to see where this all goes.
I'm so glad, man. Boy, you've watched this thing closely. God bless you.
Well, I watch everything you do, Vince.
Well, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah,
and I have my own free will. I can watch whatever I want.
That's true. You do.
But it is part and parcel again of what you do. Like, you're putting people in situations. How will you react? How will you react if you're Walter White and you're given a terminal diagnosis. Yeah. But do you start making blue meth or you don't? Right. You know what I mean? Like with that opportunity. Right. If you're Saul Goodman, do you start doing what you did or do you not? Right. And I think we're seeing with what her character is going to be going through right now here as well, right?
Absolutely true. And I got to tell you, working with Ray is such a dream. I wrote this part. I don't know where the heck the idea came from, but I know when I started cooking it up, I thought.
By the way, great phrase.
Good cooking, yes. No pun intended.
Okay, got it. I caught it.
Yeah. I thought, man, I gotta create something. Ray Seehorn was on our last show, Better Call Saul.
Yes, sir.
She was fantastic in it. It started off. It was a character we didn't know. Peter Gould and I, Peter co-created the show, and we didn't know if her character was going to amount to anything. And then we wind up loving the actor so much, Ray, who plays the character, that the show kind of becomes a two-hander. That was never the intention from day one. She made herself indispensable, and I said to myself, I got to put Ray in. I got to create something for her because I don't want her, disappearing on me. Because smart people are going to snap her up, put her in something else.
So you did create this character with her in mind when you're writing Pluribus.
When I started noodling on this thing, it was a male protagonist because I'm a guy. That's usually the way I think, male protagonist. And then I thought, why does it have to be a guy? Why can't it be a woman? Why can't it be Ray? So that's kind of how that came together.
All right, and a few other questions on this one as well is, do you know, again, it's been picked up for season 2.
Yeah.
Do you know how this ends already?
No,
where this goes, how it goes?
We have, my writers and I, we have some ideas about where it might go, and probably at this point we have more ideas than we did for Breaking Bad and for Better Call Saul.
No kidding.
Yeah, we do. But the caveat is always you got to be ready to discard a perfectly good idea for a better idea. So if something better comes along, we'll go a different way. But we've got some ideas of where we think we want to go with it.
It's set in Albuquerque, which is where obviously Better Call Saul and when Breaking Bad were. Is there any possibility that we run into any survivors of those shows in Pluribus, where they're part of the hive that you just was a little wink and a nod?
That's a good question. We might have some cameos. I don't know if it's a little. We might have a few Easter eggs to throw your way, but I actually was resistant about setting it in Albuquerque. Sure. I was not at all resistant about shooting in Albuquerque. The reason we're shooting there on this show is I love my crew so much. I've been working with some of these folks for 20 years, and at the end of the day, I thought these people are like family. I love them. They crawl over broken glass for Ray. Everybody on our crew loves her. So let's shoot it in Albuquerque. But I kind of resisted because I thought it would confuse people. Okay.
No doubt. You want it to be known as, hey, this is something completely different. It's something separate. Yeah. But that said, I mean, you do have a fan base that is used to Easter eggs, that is used to what you're doing. Yeah. And so when I heard it was set in Albuquerque, I'm like, okay. But then when I heard it was about, I'm like, well, that's definitely not anything like this. And it's interesting that you would say that you have more ideas for this now, Vince Gilligan here on the Rich Eisen Show, for this Pluribus show than you did at this point for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, because those shows had vast numbers of characters who you would follow their pursuits and their storylines and how they would intertwine and how that would blow the minds of some of your viewers. You know, this is just such a monolithic single character that I would think you'd be more boxed in as a creator.
You know, something's always boxing you in. When Peter and I were doing Better Call Saul, we thought, oh, this is going to be the easiest thing we've ever done because we know where he winds up. And then we got into it. Ignorance was bliss, because then we get into it and we said, oh, my God, how do we get him from where he is now to where he ends up? And also the audience knows he can't die during the show because they know he has to survive to Breaking Bad. You know, because Better Call Saul is a prelude to Breaking Bad. So there's always some reason that makes it hard. It's never easy.
Right, but you have essentially mapped out just enough into season 2 where you think this can go, and obviously as creators you can go in any other direction in which you wish. Yeah. Where at some point she will either be part of the hive, or she will begin to battle back and win the battle, or the battle will occur, and that's enough of am I going through the beats here?
Man, we should get you in the writer's room.
Hey,
you got this thing figured out.
No, I'm happy with the remote. I'm sitting on my couch and seeing what you're cooking up, to use that phrase. I have Vince Gilligan here on the Rich Eisen Show. Pluribus, again, is Fridays. Every new episode on Apple TV. Episodes 1 through 3 are available right now. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.